Forecast. I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Alrighty, folks, welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with 4 locations where we can help you out. Now, my name is Thor, and we have 4 locations. Can you imagine being me in elementary school? You're daydreaming out the window. Teacher's like, the answer's 4. What? Oh, yeah, it happened all the time. It's bad. And you can make up names with everyone's like, your name is so cool. Thor, is that your real name? Is that like your stage name? Like your radio name? Like, no, that's my real name. I had to grow up with that. I paid my dues. It rhymes with so many words. Stop and think for a second. You can make up entire stories out of words that rhyme with Thor, and people did. Even my teachers did in front of the class. I mean, it was, oh gosh, it was terrible. But I persevered, and that brings me here to you with my Thor locations of Schrock Innovations to help you out. And it's important to know where those locations are this week. We have the Lincoln location, the original one. It's just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road, or in South Lincoln there. In Omaha, 168th and Burke, across the street from the Village Point Mall. In Papillion, we are right there at 84th and Highway 370 inside of Midlands Place. And, of course, the new baby Schrock in Des Moines, 9500 University Avenue in West Des Moines, Iowa. Now, the reason that this is all important right now is because today we are celebrating a very, very, very special event. This week, last year, was the last normal week you had. Yay, right? Isn't that creepy to think about? Like, this was the last week you had last year where everything was normal and you were like, I'm just going to get up and go to work tomorrow. Like, after that, we had a year. And that year has impacted all kinds of things, as everybody knows. I don't have to explain it to you. But one of the things that has impacted greatly, and we've mentioned this a couple times on the show, is microchip supplies. And you're starting to see shortages build up and extended wait times for things. And so every spring, we have a sale. It's normal for Schrock to have a computer sale every spring. We've been doing it for 2 decades. The heck if I was going to let COVID stop us from having our ultimate upgrade sale, right? But there's a processor shortage. We literally can't buy processors. A couple of you have purchased computers in one of our service centers and had to wait 2 or 3 days to get them, which is a far cry from the 14 days it was a couple years ago. But we try to have them in stock. But it's so hard to get these processors. Sometimes they're coming directly from overseas. So back in January, I said, okay, we're having trouble getting processors. We better order the Ultimate Upgrade processors and the Ultimate Upgrade laptops back in January, so we will have them in March. And we did. We ordered 20 of each. We received the processors 3 days ago. 3 days ago. We were supposed to launch this sale last week, but we couldn't because we didn't have any computers. Funny thing how that works. But now we've got the computers. The display models are up. The computers are, there's at least one of each in each service center. We have a lot more in the warehouse we're building up. Just takes some time. Takes more than 3 days to put them all together and test them and do it all right. But the Ultimate Upgrade Sale, if you're new to the program and you haven't heard this before, especially those of you in West Des Moines, the Ultimate Upgrade Sale is the only time that you get any value anywhere for a used or junked out computer. So during the Ultimate Upgrade Sale, you can trade in your old, tired, worn-out piece of garbage computer for a brand new Schrock modular desktop or solid-state laptop. Now, these computers are on our website right now, okay? You can see them at SchrockInnovations.com. We're going to talk about them throughout the program a little bit. If you click on Shop and then Specials, they'll pop up there for you. But it's the Ultimate Upgrade laptop and the Ultimate Upgrade desktop. I have not been this excited for the Ultimate Upgrade ever, because it represents a triumph of logistics, literally. And also, we got some really cool tech guys, because I normally don't have to plan ahead this far. But because we started so early, I was able to actually make some selections for things. that are going to have some really, really cool features. So we're going to get into that in the program here as well. But I wanted to give you a heads up. Those of you who have been waiting for this, and there are people who email us every other day asking when the sale is going to happen or if it's going to happen, there are 20 of each. I can probably get more chips. I just don't know when I will get here. So if you are in the place where you're thinking about a new computer, maybe you got a new stimmy check headed your way, it's burning a hole in your pocket. You can't really go wrong with a Schrock modular computer or a Schrock solid-state laptop for $499 after your trade-in. It's like you're getting $100 or $200 for your junk computer. We don't care what you trade in. We don't care if it works or if it doesn't work or if you've taken parts out of it or if it's a VTech kid's laptop. We don't really care because we don't do anything with them but recycle them. We're not taking parts out of them and building your computer. It's the ultimate upgrade because it is a new computer. That is the ultimate upgrade you can possibly do. All right, so coming up on the program today, guys, Microsoft, you probably heard something about this in the news this week. Huge vulnerabilities identified that allowed hackers to access Microsoft Exchange servers. That's an email server, translated to English. You probably don't use a Microsoft Exchange server, so you might think this probably doesn't impact you, and you would be wrong. So we're going to tell you what's going on with that, something important you need to know there for your own security so you don't get scammed. Also, 2 new ransomware infections. They're getting tricky. Oh, yeah, there's some bad stuff. They're taking some old school lessons and building them right back into some of this ransomware. And it's been a while since we've kind of talked about ransomware. I want to make sure you don't think it went away. So I'm going to tell you about the 2 tricky new ones and how you can protect yourself from getting infected with those. And the biggest thing that the most difficult thing to explain. If you are just a home user, if you are a little old innocent grandma at home and you don't do anything with your laptop or your desktop, but check your email and play your bingo game, I don't really care if I get infected with ransomware. You do care, and I will explain why you have to care. Because it's not just your computer on your wireless network, is it? These new ones attack everything on the network. Once they find their way into one entry point on your network, everything can be compromised. So we're going to tell you what you need to do to keep yourself safe. Also, speaking of safety, this is like the safety show. We should cue up that bumper music. Let's get the safety song in here. But Google patches Chrome again this week. Yet another 0-day vulnerability in Google Chrome. I'm seeing articles on ZDNet that it's time to ditch Chrome. That's from industry insiders, like people who, quote unquote, the headline, "We made Chrome what it is. We're the only ones that can destroy it." Because it's become like a monster behemoth that is so widely accepted everywhere that one attack, one compromise, one vulnerability can bring down 60% of computer users, regardless if you're on a Mac or a PC or running Linux. Yeah, it's not fun. So we're going to tell you what the patch was. And if you have Secure Updater, don't sweat it. You don't even have to listen to the final segment of the program if you don't want to. You're good to go. You've already got it. That's what Secure Updater does. So you don't have to wait till Sunday to hear about it and then spend your week seeking out these patches. Secure Updater downloads and installs them automatically on your computer. Really, really cool stuff. All right. Before we jump into everything that we got to cover today, I want to take a quick note to let everybody know if you receive an email or a phone call from a woman named Shelly this week. Shelly is my front desk in my Des Moines service center, and I have dubbed her Keeper of the List. That is her official title, Keeper of the List. Shelly Hild, Keeper of the List. Because when we started talking to customers, because a lot of you have outdated versions of Windows 10, some of them badly outdated. Of our 25,000 customers, there are still 1,700 computers that have been turned on in the last 2 weeks, so this isn't your old piece of junk you threw away a year ago, that are not running a current version of Windows 10. Next month, Microsoft is releasing a new version of Windows 10, guys. That puts you 2 versions behind. That puts you in danger of not getting the security patches that you desperately need to keep you safe. Some of you have already lapsed to the point where you can't get security updates. At this point, your computer should have installed this update if it was going to do it on its own. In other words, it ain't going to happen no matter how long you wait. Unless you go ahead, install it manually. I've had people email me back and say, how can I install it manually? And I tell them, you go Start, Settings, Updates, and you click Install it. If that doesn't work, which if you're at this point not updated, it's not going to work, you need us to fix this because this is going to be bad. Now, in the past, the way that this has worked, I don't want to creep anybody out here, but in the past, we wait for you to come in for a maintenance checkup or something not working, or maybe you get infected because you don't have security patches, and you come in because you're having a symptom. And then we say, oh, look, your Windows is out of date. Let's get you up to date and current. You're supposed to come in every 6 months for a maintenance checkup. But just like me and the dentist, sometimes 6 months becomes 8. You know what I mean? Oops. I was busy, life, everything. So your computers, there are 1,700 plus of you right now out of 25,000 that don't have current updates. So we are going to send another email. We may send a robocall on this to you. So if you get a call from Shelly, it's Shelly. She's real. She's legitimate. It's not a scam. It's not one of these emails we're going to talk about in the program trying to trick you. It's really Shelly from Schrock Innovations. And if you have questions about any phone call or email you get from anyone representing themselves as a Schrock employee, you can always call your local service center back, and then they can help you out with whatever needs to happen. But it's really important that when Shelly contacts you that you act quickly to get this taken care of. So that's all I'll say about that. Just wanted to give Shelly some air cover here so that she doesn't get a bunch of emails back asking if she's a scammer. All right, so the Ultimate Upgrade is back, guys. And the Ultimate Upgrade, as I explained earlier, is a computer deal where you trade in your old, broken, worn out, whatever computer, any computer. It can be the old doorstop in the barn. We've had people trade in like Commodore computers, like the old ones. We've had people trade in, of course, broken computers or kids' toy laptops. We don't really care. Find the most ridiculous thing you can trade in and trade it in, and you might get featured on our Facebook page. Guys, everybody, all employees listening, if somebody trades in something ridiculous, take a picture of it for me because we're going to post it on Facebook. So the Ultimate Upgrade is a deal where you're getting a discount off of a Schrock modular computer in exchange for recycling an old one. Why are we doing this? Number one, most of the computers that come in on the sale are not Schrock computers because Schrock computers last 4 to 6 years. Holiday specials last 10 years. They tend not to get recycled until they are very, very, very obsolete. And they're usually used up until the point they're recycled. Number one. Number two, it's very important to us. A lot of organizations and companies pay lip service to, greeny kind of, the green guys, that's recycling and clean energy and all this garbage. Yes, and a lot of it is garbage, no pun intended. But we produce a lot of e-waste in a year. We sell a lot of computers. We put a lot of parts in computers. It is very important to me as a business owner and to our employees and to us as a company that we do not contribute to the problem, especially when there's a revenue neutral way to not contribute to the problem. If you're still contributing to the problem, you're just lazy at that point. So we recycle, guys. We use Sadoff Recycling in La Vista, Nebraska. They handle almost all of our recycling for us. We take our stuff there. Things get ground up, get recycled, get parted down, get separated, the whole bit. So when you're trading your computer in at Schrock, we are recycling it. So we're keeping it out of the landfill. We're making sure that you get some value out of it because you're not going to get $100 selling it in the newspaper or on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. You want a funny day today? Do a quick search on Facebook Marketplace for computer. You're going to find some real dogs in there. You'll be able to laugh. And people want stupid amounts of money for them. It's ridiculous. My wife's rule of thumb is if you're going to sell something on Facebook Marketplace, you start the pricing at 40% of retail, what the current retail is, not what you originally paid, and then you can negotiate from there. We have this giant entertainment center we've been trying to sell for 2 weeks on Facebook Marketplace because we got a new TV, doesn't fit. This thing's huge. It's one of those giant ones with the towers and the top that goes across and the drawers and the cabinets and everything. It's a beautiful piece of furniture. We paid $5,000 for it when we bought it. Now, I thought there was inflation right now. I thought things were appreciating in value. Apparently, that's not true of large, heavy furniture because we had a guy go, I'll give you $600 for it. And the sad thing is we're thinking about taking it because that's the best offer we've had, right? So with the Ultimate Upgrade sale, guys, this is a time for you to get good value for something that you've gotten a lot of value from. Now, when you trade in your computer, the logistics of the sale here, the new computer, the replacement computer is $499. That's the cash out of pocket that you're paying for the computer, but you're getting the same Schrock warranty, the same hard drives we use in our computers. You're getting everything is the same basically, except you're getting a discount. Now, when you get the ultimate upgrade, you don't have to trade in your old computer, obviously, until you pick up the new computer. Because some people do trade in the computer that they're actively using, and we don't want to have a time where you're going without a computer, especially right now. The ultimate upgrade computers are good entry-level computers. If you describe yourself as a home user, this is the computer for you. If you are describing yourself as a small business owner, this is probably not the computer for you. Not without some upgrades. Speaking of upgrades, if we're going to celebrate the last week of normal, right? Why not discount the upgrades too? So we did. So all the hard drive upgrades are actually cheaper than they are if you bought a regular modular computer. In fact, this morning I was standing there and I'm like, I didn't think about this. If I was going to buy the ultimate upgrade and then spec it up to what an Endeavor is, yeah, it would actually be cheaper than an Endeavor. Huh. Weird. Anyway, just a little tip there for you. So the discounts are amazing, guys. And we even have some new features in the products this year, and this is what I'm really excited about. The Ultimate Upgrade laptop, for the first time ever, has the ability to have an internal backup drive. So what that means is we can equip the computer with a second solid-state hard drive to back up your data and files. So in case your hard drive ever fails, you've got a backup. So that is just phenomenal because we haven't been able to do that in the past. We can do the same thing, of course, with the desktop 500 gig backup drive. It's a mechanical drive. The backups, you might think these are expensive, right? Oh, a solid-state hard drive. Last time Thor had those on sale, they're like $150. Well, we're selling these for $50, guys. That's how much cheaper the upgrades are on the Ultimate Upgrade. So I would encourage you to go over to SchrockInnovations.com if you're in the slightest bit curious. Take a look at this shop and specials page and look at the Ultimate Upgrade laptop and desktop. Again, we don't care what you trade in. Doesn't matter. Find some old computer somewhere, trade it in, get that value back out of it, and get yourself into the Ultimate Upgrade. This is going to be going on at Schrock until while supplies last, honestly. If I can't get more chips, obviously the game is over. Or until April 7th, whatever comes first. All right, numbers to join us on the program, 888-250-2091, 888-250-2091. Ask a question. Give us a call, ask a question, make a comment. We will put you in the drawing for a Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Got to take a quick break on the program, but we'll be back next with the story about Microsoft Exchange servers getting compromised and how that's going to impact your email even if you don't use one, next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it.
Welcome to Schrock Innovations. How can I help you today?
I'm having a problem with my computer.
You're at the right place. We fix problems with computers.
That's why I'm here.
What seems to be the problem with your computer?
When I press the power button, it doesn't boot up. How fast can you fix it?
We're the fastest computer fixer in Omaha. We'll fix it fast.
How fast?
Real fast. Do you have it plugged in when you turn it on?
Of course it was plugged in. Do people make that mistake a lot?
You'd be surprised. When you press the power button, what happens?
It roars, then stops and sits.
Ooh, like a lion?
Like a what? Well, I suppose.
Sounds like a bad power supply, sir.
Is that bad?
It's not good, but we can fix it fast.
How fast?
How's that for fast?
Does it work?
Yes, sir. More purring, less roaring now.
Wow, that was fast.
Schrock Innovations is the fastest computer repair in Omaha, sir.
That's great, but all this talking is making me hungry. You guys sell sandwiches?
We do fast computer repair. If you want a fast sandwich, you have to go someplace else. Why would we sell sandwiches?
I don't know. All this fast talking is strangely familiar.
Schrock Innovations. If you want a fast sandwich, don't go there. But if you want your computer fixed and back on your desk fast, give them a call or visit their website at SchrockInnovations.com. Compute This Pro Tip 178. Those little life-saving surge protector strips are vital to your computer's health and should be used whenever possible, even for laptops. As computers get smaller and more powerful, they're also becoming more sensitive to dirty power, and your power is a lot dirtier than you might think. Even if you have a whole home surge protection, most power surges are generated within your own home. If you've ever vacuumed and seen the lights get dimmer and brighter, you created a surge. Surge protectors can only absorb so much energy measured in joules. When that capacity is exhausted, your surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord and needs to be replaced. You should always look for surge protectors that give audible alerts when they're no longer able to protect your equipment. Schrock recommends these because the lights on most strips are just power lights and they don't tell you when it's time to replace the unit. If in doubt, replace your surge protectors annually to keep your expensive TVs, computers, and other electronic equipment safe. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Thanks for tuning into the program today. For those of you who are interested, we are live streaming the show right now on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. You can watch it there. Also, if you don't do Facebook, at the end of the program, by the end of the day, Monday actually, we have all of the radio show video and audio clips loaded to our website at SchrockInnovations.com, and you can click on radio show and give it a listen there. All right, so obviously today, Ultimate Upgrade has taken a lot of the air out of the room, but there's a lot of other things going on that you need to know about as well. One of those things is Microsoft's Exchange Server zero-day hack. There were several zero-day vulnerabilities. And for those of you who aren't aware, a zero-day vulnerability is a vulnerability that is discovered, and that is its 0 day. Like, that's when it's first discovered. These vulnerabilities that were discovered, they are 0-day vulnerabilities, but they were being exploited when they were discovered, which means bad guys have been using them for some time already, and now they found them, and Microsoft has patched them to close these vulnerabilities and lock the bad guys out. What the bad guys were doing is they were using these vulnerabilities to access Microsoft Exchange servers. Who uses a Microsoft Exchange server, or what is a Microsoft Exchange server, you might ask? These are servers usually used by businesses, small businesses especially, that allow employees to email anyone in the company or anyone outside of the company, share calendars, make appointments, do a lot of the things that you can't do with a standalone copy of Outlook. So literally, it allows you to share everything. So when the bad guys accessed this stuff, they were able to access the individual mailboxes of people and sort through and sift through their email. Now, you might imagine that, okay, well, who would want anything in my email? Well, just the other day, I had an employee, we rotate passwords regularly for security. I had an employee send me an email asking me for a password. How many times have you replied to that email? So I don't. So I call them, tell them the password over the phone. They can enter the password. Yep, it worked. Okay, great, save it. But yeah, we don't email passwords. That's not safe, because if your sent items, they stay there forever unless you delete them. So one of these bad guys gets access to one of these things, hits the saved items and says, oh, look, there you go. It was my accountant, actually. I just remember that my accountant wanted my online banking password to do our taxes, downloading bank statements. And she wanted me just to email her the password. And she was cool with that. And she's an accountant, so how many other clients has she asked for? And how many small business owners have done that? So were they using an Exchange server? I don't know. Probably. Were they compromised? I don't know. They were a high-value target as an accountant. So this stuff is going to impact you guys, because at some point in your day-to-day interactions, you have probably emailed somebody that has an access or an Exchange server. So your email to them and their reply to your email, the whole conversation chain, is saved on the Exchange server. So that's something that's going to be a concern going forward. There's a lot. This was a state-sponsored attack. This was Russia. This was China, one or the other. This is big, because everybody uses Exchange servers. There were multiple updates. And I don't know, maybe it was coincidence, but Microsoft also this week found yet another vulnerability that was used in the SolarWinds attack last year. And they announced that, at the same time all this was going on. I don't know if that was distraction, like, look over here, it's not our problem. But basically, a Washington, D.C.-based security firm said in an analysis that the vulnerability was being used to steal the full contents of several user mailboxes. The bug didn't require any authentication, no username, no password, and could be exploited remotely, meaning you didn't have to be physically on the premises to do it, and you didn't have to have access to another system to do it. You could literally just get on the internet and get the email from anyone's mailbox. Pretty scary stuff. So the reason I'm bringing this up, there's nothing you can do about it. So because you can't patch the Exchange servers, right? So why am I telling you guys about this? The reason I'm telling you about this is because in the coming weeks, you're going to get a lot of spam emails that have things like invoices attached to them. They're going to be based on conversations that happened recently with real people that you talked to. They're going to reply back to you. One time I got an email back from an attorney that I'd been doing some work with. And it was from a case from 2015. And they said, oh, hey, we've got a new deposition in this case. Take a look here. And I'm like, hey, that case was settled in 2015. There's no depositions here. What is this? This is a scam. Well, I just knew that because it was from 2015. Imagine if that email would have come into my inbox in 2015. I would have probably opened the deposition, quote unquote deposition, and I probably would have got a nice ransomware infection, which is why we're talking about ransomware today. So you see, it all comes together, folks. It's like somebody plans these shows or something. It's crazy. So you're going to get a lot of spam. The spam is going to be very convincing. It's going to be very real, which is one of the reasons why I'm telling you that Shelly's going to be emailing you if your computer is outdated. And that's a legit email. Be sure you talk to Shelly. If you have questions, call us in the service center. That you can call us back and we'll confirm that it's a valid email for you. You know, we've got a list of 1,700 of you that do everything right. Everything. You've even had your computer updated except for this new version of Windows 10. Got to get you updated. All right, so one of the quick things about the holiday special, the Ultimate Upgrade laptop that got me so excited this year. This year's laptop has a ton of new features. It's got a fingerprint reader on the touchpad, which is really cool. It saves you from having to enter your Windows password every time or your PIN number and all that stuff. You can even, with some applications, tie it to passwords online, which is pretty cool. The screen is not the 720p high definition. It is the full HD screen. The hinge is a lay-flat hinge. When you open the lid of the Ultimate Upgrade laptop, you can lay it flat on the table. Keyboard and lid lay flat, and you're never going to do that from a usage perspective. Like, you know, who wants to look at it that way? But what it's going to do is it's going to keep you from breaking the hinges. How many times have you busted a hinge on a laptop by pushing the screen too far? Something fell on it and forced it to taco open further than it was supposed to, right? Well, that won't happen with this laptop. This laptop is ultra light. It is ultra upgradable. The only thing in the laptop that can't be upgraded is the memory. Everything else is upgradable. It is phenomenal. Oh, did I mention that the keyboard is backlit as well? These are features you get in a Galant. That's a $900 laptop. But you're getting it for $499 after your trade with the Ultimate Upgrade at Schrock Innovations. You can check out the Ultimate Upgrade laptop at SchrockInnovations.com. Just click on Shop and Specials, and they're all right there for you. There's 20 of them in stock right now. Guys, I bought these in January, so I have more on order. I don't know when they're going to show up. I don't know if we're going to get them in time or not. And, just so there's no confusion, this laptop is the new Resolute. So when the sale is over, this computer will become the new Resolute, and the price will go up $100. So why wait, right? All right, number to join us on the program, 888-250-2091. Got to take our bottom of the hour potty break, guys. Get your coffee refilled. We've got more coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases, even your identity. Today's cybercriminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer.
Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. The House votes this week on that COVID relief package passed by the Senate Saturday.
Now, this $1.9 trillion bill has money for schools, has money for small businesses. Also, don't forget those $1,400 direct payments to those eligible.
Fox's David Spunt. More allegations of inappropriate behavior surface against New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Anna Liss claims Cuomo asked her if she had a boyfriend, called her sweetheart, and kissed her hand. Liss is the third former female aide to accuse the governor of misconduct, and two male aides telling the Washington Post the governor routinely berated them with, quote, explicit language.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. These accusations are coming while the Democrat Cuomo is under investigation for the COVID nursing home scandal in his state. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
After a few morning high clouds, we are looking at more sunshine today. Gusty winds up to 35 miles per hour will warm us into the lower 70s. This afternoon, we do have an elevated fire danger risk, however. Overnight lows tonight will drop down near 40 with highs near 70 again on Monday. With Omaha's most accurate forecast, I'm 6 News First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Maybe buying computers online is your thing. Maybe you've had enough of the online shopping and you'd actually like to go to some place, like physical and stuff. Well, we have those 4 locations that you can come in and shop for computers, laptops, desktops, your choice, as well as the ultimate upgrade specials. Check it out, SchrockInnovations.com, or stop in just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln, in Omaha, 168th and Burke, in Papillion, 84th and Highway 370, and of course in Des Moines, West Des Moines, I should say, 9500 University Avenue. During the commercial break there, I was able to take in some of the comments on Facebook from facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where we're streaming live. Some of the funnier ones here. First of all, good morning, everybody. We have tons of top fans here. Good to see you, Greg, Blake, Mary. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Blake asked if Sophos antivirus can be installed over the Schrock desk so you don't have to come in. And the answer is yes, Blake, it can. It takes about 10 minutes. We have Blake thanking the lovely Kimberly for my beard removal. Like she did it. No, everybody knows she had the deciding vote on that one, right? So that was pretty funny. My good buddy Bob Bankus is checking in. Congratulations on the new baby girl. That's awesome, Bob. Good work there. So yeah, good stuff, guys. Welcome to Schrockville. You can check it out, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. And of course, after the program today, we do a second little show. It's going to be a little abbreviated because I have to get over to my mom's house to help her with some stuff over there today. But we do something called the Aftershock. Now, today on the Aftershock, we're going to do the weekly Bitcoin update. It did break 50,000 this morning before we came on the air because I was getting concerned. Also, when is the right time to upgrade your computer? People ask me that, like, Thor, when should I upgrade? Like, is there a rule? We're going to talk about that. And also, I saw a great thing on Facebook. You know, the come and take, the like a Roman helmet, right? Except with a Dr. Seuss hat. Like, come and take my Dr. Seuss books. We'll talk about the Dr. Seuss ban. I saw some teachers in my Facebook feed, defending the Dr. Seuss ban as not being a full ban, as only being a partial ban, only certain books. You want to tick a bunch of people off, you take their Dr. Seuss books away. Let me tell you what, especially here in Nebraska and Iowa. 888-250-2091. All right, so let's jump into those phones real quick here. Thanks for staying on the line there. I appreciate your patience, guys. Charlie, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This?
Good morning, Thor. I have the secure updater on my computer.
Yes.
And on it is a sea cleaner.
Yes.
I keep getting notifications down in the bottom right-hand corner of a new version of Secure Cleaner, and to click on this to update it. Is there a new version, or are you going to put it on the Secure Updater, or what's the deal there?
Yes, there was a new version, and yes, it is in Secure Updater. So is your C Cleaner checked in Secure Updater? Is it actually selected so it downloads updates for the C Cleaner program?
No.
Okay. So basically, current version is 5.77 and change. So if you right-click down, if you go down in the lower right-hand corner of your screen by your clock where all your icons are, you'll see your Secure Updater icon. It looks like a shield with the letter U in the middle. If you right-click on that, you can, let me get this right. I want to make sure I use the exact right words. I believe it's you just click Select Update here. Yeah, you click Select Updates, and it's going to open up your Secure Updater window and show you all the programs that can be updated. They're in alphabetical order, so CCleaner is only like 6 down from the top of the list, but it should have a check next to the box, and it'll show you the installed version and the current version, and those should match. So if that's not the case, if there's something weird going on, if it's not checked, just check it, and then click Update, and it'll go through and download it. But if it matches and you're still having a problem, let us know, and we'll take a look at the individual computer over the Schrock desk to see what's going on there. But it should be upgrading automatically as long as it's selected within Secure Updater.
Well, I thought that too, but it's been a long time. Been getting those notifications for quite a while now.
Yeah,
so
my guess is it's not selected. Yeah, double check and make sure it's selected.
Okay, thank you.
All right, hey, thanks for the call, Charlie. And you see, guys, it's that easy. Charlie's in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. He didn't spend any money. He didn't ask a super complex question. He said, yo, Thor, why your stuff don't work? And I said, Charlie, it does work. And he said, all right, I'll check on it. See, he's in the drawing, right? How easy is that, right? All right, let's see if Blaine can top that. Blaine, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Yeah, toward the end of last year, you told us to remove Adobe Flash Player.
Yes.
And I did that. And whenever I try to use my HP printer, during the month of January, I got this, it was just a symbol, like a trademark. Couldn't do anything with it. About a month ago, I did it, and I got a message that I needed to go in and get the latest version of Adobe Flash Player.
Oh, boy. How old is your printer?
Pretty old.
I was going to say, it's pretty old because no one's used Adobe for anything in like 5 years. But you had to keep
they're using it apparently.
Yeah. So my guess is they've released some new software for your printer, some updated software, or maybe they haven't because they figure your printer's so old they want you to buy a new one. So here's the challenge. There are always vulnerabilities in the Adobe Flash Player. Adobe has discontinued the Flash Player for everyone in the world except for China, where they use a lot of old, outdated computers in China. You know, for all the talk about how advanced everything is in China, most of their people are still using Windows XP. And so they still need the Flash Player. So Adobe released a special version of their website for the Chinese version of the Flash Player. You can also go to a website called oldversion.com and install it if you needed to. But I would strongly recommend that you don't because, number one, Windows is going to automatically continually uninstall it from your computer because if Adobe is not updating it, that thing was not safe when Adobe was updating it regularly. If they're not going to update it, it's not safe. So you said it's an HP printer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What's the model?
It's a C4480.
C4480. Let's take a look and see what we're dealing with here. Let's see. The HP C4480 all-in-one. Oh, that's not too old. It doesn't look too old. Doesn't look too old at all. Let's take a look at drivers and firmware here. Literally, that is super weird. I just clicked on drivers and firmware, and it gave me a not allowed error message. How do you figure that? I'm not allowed to look at the drivers and firmware, apparently. All right, let's see. There we go. Now it's working, sort of-ish. All right. Release date for the latest software was 2014 for that printer. So, and that was the most up-to-date software was 2014. Flash would have been in full swing 7 years ago. Now, the good news here is, I thought when you said you had an old printer, sometimes people hang on to their older printers because they were back from the days before they were chipping the cartridges. This printer was not back before that time. They were chipping the cartridges in this printer. By chipping the cartridges, I mean your ink cartridges expire in 90 days, full or not, good or not, whether or not they're empty, whether or not they're gummed up, they just expire for a great user experience, you understand. Also, if any one cartridge becomes empty, the printer stops printing even if it doesn't require that ink, which has happened to every student trying to print a term paper at the last minute. or every person who has to print something for their boss or anyone who's working from home. Very annoying. In fact, the reason I'm going to my mother's house after the show today is literally, not a joke, to install ink cartridges in her HP printer for her. That's literally why I'm going over there. Because her time's up. You know, Dad passed away in November. Cartridges are expired. Time's up. You know, it's like, oh, shoot, I got to get those cartridges in there. She tried to print something and she couldn't print. So, unfortunately, you're probably in that situation where you're going to have to be looking at a new computer here soon. That's the bad, or excuse me, a new printer soon, because nobody fixes printers, you know, and especially if it requires the Flash player to run. So, from a diagnostic perspective, the first thing that I would do is maybe the thing was telling you, does it still print, or is it not printing?
Oh, no, it prints fine.
Oh, okay. If it prints fine, here's my guess. There's probably some HP ink software that got installed with the printer software that requires the Flash player. So if it prints just fine, you know, hey, Thor, when's a good time to replace my printer? When it don't print no more. There you go. If it prints just fine, you stick with it. Ignore the error about the Flash player. You don't want to install the Flash player. I thought it was preventing it from printing this whole time. We just had a conversation about nothing. This is like Seinfeld.
Well, what the software does is let you drive the printer from the computer, and you can select whether you get a PDF or a PNG. And I can run it directly from the printer.
The scanner, you mean?
It defaults
right?
to the PNG.
Gotcha. When you're scanning, is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. So the scanner functionality may be impacted. That is true. But the good news here is there are tons of free open source scanner programs that'll work just fine with your HP. What you're looking for is called a Twain scanner, kind of like Mark Twain, a TWAIN scanner utility. I'm going to do a quick search here to help you find one. Let's see, 6 best. Yep, the Twain 32 is fine. There's a ton of them. Like literally, they're all out there, and they're free. They don't cost any money. But basically, that scanner, you don't have to use the HP software to scan, is what I'm saying. You can use any Twain scanner software to scan and save it in any format you want. So again, if you want to buy a new printer, this is a great excuse to buy a new printer. We could try installing the HP software from 2014, but my guess is it's going to do the same thing to you. It's going to require the Flash player, but you really don't want to install the Flash player anymore.
Okay. Actually, I've got an old laptop that has and it still has Flash. It's not on the internet. It still has the Flash player program on it, and I plug it into that one, and I can do it. But then I've got to do a jump drive from the old one to the new one.
Well, that's in the industry what we call a workaround.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for the call, Blaine. I appreciate it.
Sure.
All righty, guys. Number to join us on the show is 888-250-2091. There are 2 new ransomware infections out right now, guys, that are really kind of scary. One of them is called Humble Ransomware. It gets its name because it only asks you for a 0.00002 Bitcoin ransom, which is around $10 right now at current prices. So the Humble Ransomware only asks for a tiny little ransom. However, the other one that's out is way scarier. It asks for a 10 Bitcoin ransom, which is like what? Bitcoin's at around 50 grand right now, so that's a cool $500,000 to get your data back. Yeah, that's not $250,000. That's not happening. Then the second thing it does is it spreads over the network. It is employing worm technology along with ransomware technology. We have not seen this before. This is new. You remember back in the day the I Love You virus and all those nasty ones that would come in via email and then spread through your entire network? All it takes is one person at work or one person in your home to click the wrong link or open one of these emails that I've warned you about today that are going to be coming into your inboxes that are going to be ransomware infections, asking you to check for payment on an invoice or something. Click here to see the invoice. Be very, very careful what attachments you're opening, guys. Be very, very careful what links you click on within emails. It's a scary time. It's a very scary time, and we got to make sure we keep you safe. So the biggest way we can do that is if you have Sophos antivirus on your computer, if you make a mistake, Sophos is there to catch you when you fall. It's there to prevent the problem from happening. It's there to keep you safe. When you try to access the ransomware, it will prevent it. If it gets past that somehow, when the ransomware starts to encrypt files, Sophos will stop it and remove it. If it tries to spread across your network in a worm-like fashion, Sophos' AI will detect it and freeze it so it can remove it. This is the power of an AI-based antivirus product. It's not just a marketing buzzword. It will definitely keep you safe. This is something, as I explained to Blake earlier here, we can install this on your computer over the Schrock desk. You don't have to come in if you don't want to. We can do it virtually. But if you're running McAfee, Norton LifeLock, AVG, WebRoot, Total IT, or anything like that, StopZilla, any garbage antivirus product, they're not going to keep you as safe as Sophos can keep you. Every single day we have computers that come in with McAfee installed, and those same computers, we detect infections on them, we remove the infections, and we upgrade them to Sophos and remove the McAfee. Literally, it's a running joke at the front desk. If we ask you, what are you running for antivirus? And you say McAfee, we say, do you want to pay for the virus removal now, or do you want us to actually scan it first? Because it's that likely you're infected. So make sure you get Sophos, guys. Please keep yourself safe, especially right now with all these emails flying around. 888-250-2091. Got to take the final break of the program. When we come back, of course, we're going to jump back to the phones. Jeff, Robert, Kathy. Also, Google Chrome. Yet another actively exploited zero-day vulnerability is patched. Is it time to select a different browser because too many people are using Chrome? We're going to talk about it coming up next on Compute This.
Drive Advisor is a free program from Schrock Innovations that monitors your hard drive's health and tells you if it's going bad. Download it for free at driveadvisor.com. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the special section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. And now Compute This pro tip number 373. Everyone knows we're supposed to back up our computers and then check those backups periodically to make sure they're working. So why don't most people do it? Lots of people have different ideas about what backing up means. Is it copying files to a flash drive? Is it using a fancy backup program? And how do you know it's working anyway? Windows makes backups easy through free software that's already on your computer. Open your control panels and click Update and Security. Select Backup and choose from all of the available options to get a regular, reliable checkup. You'll need something to back up to, like a Schrock modular storage device or some other backup hard drive. Backups usually run once a week, but you can always change the frequency. The best part is that if your backup ever fails, you'll see a notification in the lower right corner by your clock telling you something's up. Backing up your important data has never been easier, so take a moment to back up your computer today. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. This is the final segment of Compute This for today, but never fear. The show continues after the top of the hour on Facebook at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where you can join us to hear all about Dr. Seuss books, Bitcoin, and when's the right time to trade in your computer, and what I actually charge my mother for a house call. Because somebody asked that on Facebook. How much do you charge your mom for the house call? I'm like, I don't know. Was that like a, hey, you capitalist pig, how much you charging your mom for that? Or was that like a, hey, how much do you charge your mom? Do you take Sunday dinners? I didn't know how it was intended. That's the thing with Facebook. You can't hear tone all the time. I'm just going to assume it was friendly. But I said, yes, I always leave with something. All right, let's jump back into those phones. Jeff, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Good morning, Schrock. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm very good. Hey, speaking of upgrades, I have a probably 2005 or 2006 Dell computer.
Oh, wow.
And it works perfectly with Vista, but I'd like to upgrade it to Windows 10. Is that possible on something that old?
Is it possible to put a diesel engine in a 1950 Chevy? Maybe. Should you do it? Probably not. So yeah, I would. That's a trade-in computer. You can't run Vista anymore. Obviously, you haven't been able to run Vista for some time, safely anyway. Yeah, the biggest thing that kills you, the computer could probably run Windows 10 just fine because Windows Vista was a resource pig. The technology obviously is a little bit dated, so it's going to be a little slower than you would like. The challenge you're going to come up against is the graphics card. Almost all of the graphics chips that were used in the years of Vista computers are not compatible with Windows 10. And so if we did upgrade that computer to Windows 10, you would have to add some kind of a graphics card. And right now, graphics cards are in very short supply. To give you an idea, the ones that we put in our ventures, they're just a simple little 2 gig card. They're not for gaming. They're not for mining. They're just a basic multiple monitor high performance graphics card. They usually cost us about $90 to put in a computer. They're running $144 right now when I can find them. That's our cost. So the chip shortage is real, and so I think that by the time you got done spending an hour of labor plus the cost of the Windows 10, okay, let's shop this out. Windows 10 is $200. The hour of labor to install it to upgrade it would be $115. So now you're at $315. Then you need a graphics card. We're going to charge you $200 for that. So now you're at what, $515. And you don't have a warranty on anything. We're going to test everything to make sure it's healthy, but the only thing you have a warranty on is the graphics card and the labor on what we did for 30 days. And you're spending more than the ultimate upgrade, and the ultimate upgrade is going to be a more powerful computer than the one that you're upgrading, which is why we call it the ultimate upgrade.
There you go. Going down that road, what's the key difference between the laptop and the desktop other than size? I mean, why would I not just get the laptop on the ultimate upgrade?
Biggest one is memory upgradability. The memory in the laptop is locked in at 4 gigs forever. That's been a feature of our Resolute line for a long time. Unfortunately, when you get down into that sub $500 price point, that's normal. So you can never upgrade the memory beyond 4 gigs. On the desktops, of course, we can do anything. And so that would be the big differentiating factor there. The thing I tell my customers, laptop versus desktop, if you're actually going to pick it up and carry it around and use it around the house or take it with you places, get a laptop for the portability. If you're going to plug it in and leave it on a desk plugged in, if you can zip tie the power cord down, then you shouldn't have a laptop. You should have a desktop.
Okay.
All righty?
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for the call, Jeff. I appreciate it. All right, Robert, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Yes, I heard you about your laptops. I wanted to ask, if I purchase one of your laptops and I go to one of these places out in the parking lot where it says free Wi-Fi, if I'm using your computer out in the car, can somebody inside the building that's also online, so to speak, can they intercept what I'm doing?
I'm just saying, Robert, what parking lots are you going to? I haven't seen the free Wi-Fi sign in the parking lot.
Okay, like at McDonald's.
Yeah,
and,
I knew what you meant. I'm just giving you. It was just funny. Okay. I was like, I go to the free Wi-Fi parking lot, like it's one of the parking goes, downtown. You just park there and you get on the Wi-Fi. No, so okay, if you join a public Wi-Fi, any public Wi-Fi, whether it's in a McDonald's or a Starbucks or at work, anytime you join a Wi-Fi, the network administrator can see a lot of the traffic that goes through the network, which is why, number one, a lot of websites like Facebook and Gmail have gone to HTTPS or secure socket layers so that everything's encrypted. So even if the network administrator sees it, they can't see it. They can see there's data going, but they can't read it. And then for those times when it's not secure, we recommend a VPN because that accomplishes the same thing, but it prevents the network administrator from seeing what's going on. Famous story I've told many times on the program. I had a buddy who was at an airport. He sat down next to a guy who had a power strip on the floor, and he used the last plug in the pole to plug his power strip in. He had 2 available outlets. My buddy asks if he can plug his MacBook into the power strip, and the guy says no. Okay, so he opens up his MacBook, joins the Wi-Fi network. He has 10% battery left, and he chooses to use his 10% battery looking for the guy's computer on the network, finds the computer on the network, sees his plain text password he sent to get into his Gmail account, and then goes into his Gmail account, this is before 2-factor authentication and all that stuff, and changes the default language to Swahili. And then logs out.
Funny.
And so he didn't do anything nefarious, but the next time the guy hits compose mail, everything came up in Swahili, and he's like, what the? And if you don't read Swahili, it's really hard to get back to English because you can't read the menus, right? So anyway, the answer is yes, you do expose some information, but there are things that you can do to mitigate that. Thank you very much for the call, Robert. I appreciate it. All right, final call of the program, Kathy. How can I help you today on Compute This, Kathy?
Yeah, I was just checking my secure updater.
Yes.
And I show that the most recent version I have came on March 16th of 2018. I think I'm a little behind, but I don't understand why.
Okay, the most recent version of what?
Secure updater.
Okay, so we may have installed it in 2018. So the icon that you're opening for Secure Updater, is it a shield or is it a circle?
It's a shield.
Okay, so that's the current version. It was probably originally installed in 2018, and it's been updated several times since then. So that's what you're seeing there. Now, for those of you, somebody on Facebook asked me, thank you very much for the call, Kathy. I appreciate it. Somebody asked me to go over the steps to check whether or not your Windows 10 is up to date, let's do that again real quick. To check to see if your version of Windows 10 is current, right-click on your Start menu. That's down in the lower left-hand corner. So right-click on that, and then left-click on the word System. So right-click on the Start menu, left-click on System. This opens the About Your PC page, and you can scroll down, and it'll tell you what version of Windows you're running. You want to be running 20H2 for the version, 20H2. If you are not running 20H2, you have a problem, and you need to get it updated. It should have updated by now because 20H2 was released in October. At this point, Microsoft has already passed through the heck, we're going to force you to do it window. Your computer's not installing the update because something's not right, and we need to fix that before you get too far behind. There are 1,700 of you out of 25,000 that are in this scenario. So obviously, Microsoft's not doing a good job of getting these updates pushed out. So we are going to contact all 1,700 of you this month. We're going to start with email. We're going to move to phone call. We may move to SMS message after that. And then we're going to have poor Shelly individually bleeding finger dial you to call you and tell you what's going on. So if Shelly calls you, it's the real deal. Today's winner, Robert, congratulations. You've got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. You can spend it anywhere your heart desires in the service center. Stay tuned for the Aftershock, guys, and also check out the Ultimate Upgrade available for a limited time only on our website at SchrockInnovations.com on the specials page. We'll see you next week.
This is News Radio 1110 KFAB Omaha. Online at KFAB.com. On your phone with the iHeartRadio app. And on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos.